Lauren was a student here at Shidler, just like us, and now she is the founder of Aloha Bridal Connections, which is an online resource and wedding event planning business in Hawaii. And so she actually started her business in her dorm at 20 years old. She's been through all the PACE programs. For example, she did the UH business plan competition through PACE's annual program that they do. And then that same night of the competition, she went home and she launched her website. And so since then, she's coordinated over 400 weddings. And so Lauren wears many hats within the business, and she's worked very closely with couples traveling from all over the world. And so since graduating, Lauren has been a coach for the UH business plan competitions. She's been a mentor for wedding businesses in the industry, and she now hopes to inspire students to create sustainable businesses while still keeping in mind the passion behind the business. And we placed second in the UH business plan competition in May, and Peter was actually talking about Lauren during his speech, and so I was like, I need to meet this girl. And then of course I went online and I stalked her a little. But I found out that her company also had many other awards for her business. For example, she was the Hall of Fame winner and many other consecutive winners within the wedding industry. And so without further ado, you guys are super excited, so please help me in welcoming Lauren.
Well, hello. Thank you. Thanks everyone for being here. It was a really impressive introduction, so thank you. I had a hard time. They told me to send a bio. I haven't written a bio for myself since school, so that was very challenging. So I Googled it, like, oh, what am I supposed to put in here? How many words put in? So thank you. That was really, really nice. So today I'm going to go into obviously a little bit of the story about myself and then just how I got ABC started. So I call it ABC for short, it's easier to remember that way. But I do want to be very, very honest with you guys and saying one of the best quotes I ever heard was from my dad. So he said, check your ego at the door. No matter what business room you walk into, no matter what meeting you're there for, make sure you're checking your ego first. Don't walk in there too high and mighty. Don't believe that you know anything better than the person you're sitting across from. There's always something to learn from everybody else. So just make sure you're doing that first. With this presentation, I'm excited. This is something I wrote down on my bucket list 5 years ago. And I hope I'm successful enough to get invited to come back. And here I am. And I'm so excited about it. So everything I'm communicating to you guys is really just raw energy, really excited, so bear with me as I go through everything, but thank you for listening. So I'm going to have 3 main things I want you guys to write down, think about as I go through it, and I'll touch through it as I go through. The first 3 questions are, what do you leave behind? So this is something that's pretty significant. I want you guys to always think about this. What are you really, really, really good at? It's okay to be confident about something, be like, yeah, I kick ass at this. You know, it's okay to have that kind of energy about something. I want you to recognize that and know that's what it is. What drives you? What gets you out of bed? This is going to change all throughout the years as you go through your business, go through school, whatever it is. If it's money, if it's power, if it's whatever it is. Just figure out what that is for you. So those are the 3 questions I want you guys to walk away knowing the answers to. So, if nothing else, if you remember nothing else from this, my 3 main tips: get excited, get focused, and get ahead. So get excited. This is something that I am known for just being a little bit too bubbly, a little too obnoxious, and I have my team to kind of mellow me out. So whenever I have a really crazy idea, the first thing I do is make it tangible. I call someone, I write it down and say, hey, I think this might be crazy, but I'm going to write it down. I hope it goes somewhere. The second step is get focused. This is where you are relating to your team, to whoever your peers are, whoever's around you, and just say, hey, what are my next steps? What's going to actually turn this into a reality? So get focused, get clear about what your actual objective is, and part of this is a project execution plan. So whatever your little small project is, if it's big or small, whatever that is, figure out what your execution plan is for it and know where you're actually headed, because that's the only way that you're going to get ahead. Getting ahead means jumping in the pool, getting a head start, calling that person, calling a mentor, calling a friend who starts up another business and sitting down and having lunch with them, picking their brain. That's the whole part of getting ahead, is actually taking action on it. So this is, I'm going to do a little elevator pitch about myself, and this is a really cool photo shoot I had the opportunity of doing. I'm going to refer back to my 3 points of the get excited, get focused, and get ahead. The adventure elopements that we do is something that wherever you want to go, you want to hike to a waterfall, hike to a lava field, do something like that, we can help arrange that for you and actually get you married out there. That all started with just an idea in a kitchen. I was making cookies, really excited, it's like, oh my god, I think we can do this! Called my friend right after that, and that's where it took off. And all of it resulted into this crazy photo shoot. This actually went viral. It was on Huffington Post, the Today Show. It was insane. I still kind of don't believe it, but it is what it is. So, elevator pitch about myself. You did a great job, thank you. But I'm from Colorado, born and raised there, and then I came out here about 8 years ago, love it. I went to UH, graduated with an entrepreneurship major. When I first started school, I knew I wanted my own business, had no idea what that meant for me, but I decided to jump into an internship. Wedding planning is kind of where I fell. I said, hey, you know, I'm really bubbly, I really do well when I'm stressed out. For example, this presentation was planned 2 hours ago, so I just do better under pressure. And that's just me in a nutshell. But I want you guys to just understand that no matter where you are in life, no matter what steps you take, be proud of who you are and own it, and be okay with the faults that you have. And just capitalize on what you're really good at. So the second thing I want to talk about is that's the elevator pitch about myself. Elevator pitch about your company or your business or your project, whatever it is, needs to stay separate. That's one of the biggest lessons I've learned, is that if you merge the two, you start to forget who you are and what you stand for and what gets you excited outside of your company. So much as you love your business, you've got to make sure that you really are keeping those two separate and you're able to do an elevator pitch about yourself and about your company. So my pitch about my company is we're an online wedding planning resource for couples that come all over the world. We have couples from Ireland, Australia, New Zealand, and those are our regular clients that we have. We also have Canada, all over the US, New York. So those are the clients that come to us and say, hey, we really need help. We also have vendors that we work with. The best vendors on the islands, hands down, we know we work with them. So we're connecting those two together and making sure it's a really seamless process for the couple. So I'm going to go a little bit into the history of us and just give you guys some background to see where we started and where we are now. So startup weekend is the first thing I did, and to be very honest, it was a weekend. It was one of the first weekends of the semester, and all my friends were going to do Sandy's. And I really wanted to go, and I decided that, you know what, I think I need to go to this thing. I called my dad. My dad's like, you better get your ass over there. So I go to startup weekend, and Jordan was there. He's my interpreter. I said, you know, I think I'm going to just pitch this idea. Kind of came out of nowhere. I'm just going to give it a try. With at least 60 different people went up, pitched a really short idea. I walked away at the end of the competition as most likely to succeed. So that's exactly what I'm talking about jumping in the pool and just do it. Just jump in, just try, do a pitch, whatever you can. With that, I won mentorship. So that meant I had the chance to sit down with really successful business owners that were able to, you know, just call me on it and say, that's not realistic, good job on this, keep trying, go again. Microloan from Pace. So it was a $5,000 loan that I got from Pace, but they made me work for it. They made me work really hard for it. I had to get 25 signed letter of intent, which is just I promise to pay you because I think you're worth your money. Signature, in person, 25 different vendors. At this point, I haven't coordinated any of my own weddings. So here I am just sitting down, buying these people coffee. I don't have any money, but hey, you know, $2 black coffee isn't that expensive, so you give it a try. You sit down, and I was able to get the 25 vendors to sign. In my dorm room, I had a whiteboard, and I tallied every single time I got a vendor, just to show my progress, just to make it tangible, just to make it something that I was almost there for. So if it's just in your head, it's a lot harder to reach. So 5 years ago on May 1st, did the business plan competition, walked away with third, and that night launched the website. The end of my presentation had a little time clock. I was like, 5, 4, 3. And it was really exciting, and that was my moment of, hey, you know what? How am I going to win this competition, or at least take third, by convincing them that I'm real, that I'm serious about doing this, and that's exactly what got us third. So the first year I had 5 weddings. The second year we had 36, so that was a really large jump. Then 3 years ago, we started a 5% off program. So what that means is all of the vendors that are on our site offer 5% off to our clients. So basically, if you're a client, you're going to get 5% off of your entire wedding in working with us. That's huge, and that was really just a method of, hey, collaborating with these vendors saying, oh, I like working with you, you like working with us, let's give these clients a deal. That's what got us from 36 weddings to 77. 82, 88, and then this year we're sitting at 135 so far. We're still booking out some more. So it's been a really crazy ride, to say the least. But I think overall the message that's here is just, you just got to keep moving. It doesn't matter what's slowing you down. Keep reevaluating and keep moving forward. So, considering all of you are of about the almost engaged age, I figured I'd let you know what packages we have. So, day out coordination is our most popular package. This means that you come to us, we give you recommendations, you book everything, and then we wrap it up for you. Really straightforward, really simple, more for resourceful clients. Partial and full means that we do a little bit more involvement with the vendors, make your life a little easier, but you gotta pay us more for it. One of our biggest successes that we've had is our partnership with the Sheraton Hawaiian Resort. So this means any of the weddings they have over the next 2 years, we're the wedding planners for them. So this was a really huge partnership. It adds about 40 weddings a year to our plate. Adventure elopements is what I mentioned earlier. So the lava photo, this is something that is definitely a passion project, definitely a work in the making, but it's amazing, and I hope you guys check it out. So, packages if you're looking for a wedding planner. So, I want to kind of go back to the foundation of what happened in the beginning. So when I very first started the business, one of our main competitors passed away suddenly, left nothing behind. No access to her passwords, no way for her husband to access her email, her business account, her bank account, all of that. There was no access to any of it. So learning from that situation, we built a team that's completely transparent with each other. So everyone knows everything. If anything happens to me on my way to the wedding day, I've got a full team to take care of all the details, and I'm not worried at all about what's to happen. So my advice to you guys is never, ever take life for granted. Plan your life around the fact that you're probably going to go tomorrow. So this goes back to the what are you leaving behind? That's the first question I asked you guys. So this needs to be something that you really feel passionate about. Are you leaving behind a legacy? Are you leaving behind inspiring people? What is that for you? For me, my personal, what I want to leave behind is just a record of inspiration. I want people to feel just stoked to be alive and happy to keep building businesses that they really care about. So there's always a solution to every problem. Being a wedding planner, we come across all sorts of different things. For example, we have 2 weddings tomorrow. We're dealing with Tropical Storm Olivia. We have to relocate a few things. It's a little crazy, but there's always a solution no matter what. One of the biggest things is I personally am 80% deaf, which means I take out my hearing aids, I can't hear anything. So that's a huge disadvantage, and that would slow a lot of people down, but that's where you kind of have to spin it around and just be like, hey, there's an answer to every single problem. What that means is I have a team. If I can't understand somebody, Josie, get over here, can you help me out? And I just rely on the team in order to make that happen. So whatever that is for you guys, I want you to know, always try to think about what that solution is. Set realistic expectations. This is something that I don't do well, and I need to do better. I'm constantly like, hey, by the end of today, I'm going to get my website up and running, and that's obviously not realistic. So whatever you do, wherever you go, be aware that you are your own boss. Whatever project you're working on, it's your own project. You're the only one that knows the deadline, so the least you could do is give yourself some realistic expectations as to when to complete them. Because if you keep missing your own deadlines, you're just going to be a little upset at yourself, and that doesn't help anybody else. So, set realistic expectations. So the next question I have for you guys, what are you really good at? And I try to, whenever I'm around my friends, I try to ask insightful questions like this, because if you're not really thinking about the things that make you stand apart, you're not going to stand apart. So be confident and own whatever it is that you're really good at. You may be good at a lot of things, but what's that one thing that's really set you apart? For me, I would say visionary. That's definitely my passion. I sit down, I have an idea, and I make it happen. That's what I'm really good at. Other people, maybe sports, maybe other things. Just figure out what that is for you. Never stop learning. You're going to class here, you're learning a lot, you've got lots of professors, they're all telling you a ton of stuff, you're studying the books, you take the test, you forget all of the information. Never stop learning. Ask your clients for feedback, ask your team for feedback, and most importantly, ask yourself. Gut check. This is huge. This is something that when you're going through different experiences, you're really stressed out, you need to take a moment to step away from all the chaos and figure out what feels right in your gut. And I'm not trying to preach anything for you guys, but there's been multiple experiences in my business that I've said, hey, I don't feel right about this, but I keep moving ahead anyways, and it backfires. So whatever you do, put yourself in a room of silence enough to figure out what that gut check is for you in order for you to move forward. So this is actually this right here. I am not very good at preparing for things. So like I mentioned earlier, this presentation came together in the last 2 hours, and it came together because I showed up at my team member's house and said, okay, I have the notes, I'm ready. She goes, okay, I have the laptop, the other one had the snacks, we're all ready to go. We're around the table, and we bust this out. So, goes back to just recognize what you're good at, and just keep being really, really good at that, and build a team diverse enough to handle the rest, because you're not going to be able to do it all on your own. As much as you try to focus on your own faults and pushing through and trying to correct your own things that you're not good at, you're not going to get anywhere. So be honest with yourself and say, hey, I really suck at preparing for things, so I'm just going to build a team to help me out and have a kick-ass notebook. What drives you? So this is another question my dad has asked me before. What gets you out of bed? What gets you to work? What gets you at home at night? What is that really motivates you? And this is going to change over the course of your entire business if you're growing one, or your career. For me, when I very first started, what drove me the most is I was determined. My mission statement was, I am going to be known as the #1 wedding planner across all islands. We have hit that. And I want to be humble about it, but we have 1 million awards to show for it. So it's incredible. We hit that goal. What's my next goal? My current motivation is the fact that I have a team next to me, and I'm helping build their dream jobs. I'm building their careers. I'm building their homes one day. Hopefully I can, eventually help support their families. I'm not there yet, but I'll get there. So that's my current motivation, and I want you guys to always remember what yours is for yourself. So success is a mindset. I believe this wholeheartedly. No matter what you do, no matter what trials you come across, if you're, it kind of goes back to the whole set realistic expectations. If you're constantly missing your own expectations, you're just going to be down and out. Versus stepping away and being like, hey, that's okay, I missed it, move on, and feel better about it. Success is a mindset. So do whatever you can to get yourself in a place where you feel confident enough to keep moving forward. Dream big. You want to be known as a day coordinator across all islands, put it on your list. Write it down. Make it tangible, and say yes to as many things as you can. The lava photo shoot that we had earlier, it was a wedding planner it was a wedding photographer who reached out and was like, hey, I really want to hang out some lava. You just got married. You have a wedding dress. Are you down? Yeah, let's do it. You gotta say yes. You gotta just jump on those opportunities, because if you don't, your whole life is gonna pass you by and you're not gonna get as far along as you could. So Susan Yamada, we all know who she is. The #1 piece of advice that she gave me was avoid right now. And I'll be very honest, I did reach a point in my business where I was pretty close to being like, I'm gonna sell it. I'm done, I'm out, and that's not a good place to be. So I've taken some time since then and just reflected on what I needed to do, and a lot of that was stepping away from the busy work. There's delegation for a reason. You're not going to be a good leader until you can recognize that you need to delegate. So, we bring on an admin helper, Jade, who's over there, just killing it, sending out way more contracts than I was ever able to send out myself. And all of that comes down to just recognizing what you're good at and what you're not good at. So constantly prioritize. Whatever you do, every single day, you should know what your top 3 tasks are for that day. Every week, you should know what your top 3 things are that you're gonna accomplish that week. Every month, every quarter, and every year. So every single time a new week starts, I take out a new list and I write that down. So I hope that's some good advice for you guys because it's saved us a million times in staying on track. Whenever you get off track, all you gotta do is start the next Sunday and write it down again and give it another try. Maximizing efficiency. So we recently started a new software called 17 Hats. So they are amazing as it is, but we've been doing everything manually, and this steps into our company and makes it all automated but personalized enough, and it's saved every single one of my team members 10 hours a week. That's huge. That's 10 hours that you can spend an entire day at the beach, relaxing, doing whatever you want. So what I'm talking about with maximizing efficiency is part of that is you've gotta reduce your workload every day enough to step back and say, hey, I'm gonna do a little research and see what's out there. Because you guys know, tech stuff pops up left and right. There's so many new things that come through, and if you're so buried in your work that you're not paying attention to that, you're gonna fall behind. So try to be on that. For the scheduling your week, one of the things that I am sticking true to ever since I reached that burnout point was 2 days a week, no exception, I have nothing on my agenda. So if that means that I do some catch up, or I go outside, or I do whatever I want, I'm not obligated to do anything for 2 days out of the week, and those are the best 2 days of my week. 2 hours a day of flex time. So what I mean by flex time is, you're gonna have your whole day, you're gonna have a whole bunch of things to try to manage for that day, but if you stack your entire day without having 2 hours of flex time, you're gonna be behind by the end of the day and your morale is gonna fall again. So whatever you can do from 1 to 3 p.m. every single day, don't put anything in your agenda so that you can catch up, take a breath, and get ahead on certain projects, and then feel even better when you get back to the rest of your work. 1 hour a day outside. That's my rule for myself. Put my phone down. Social media is so easy to go to. It's like, oh, I'm on a break. I'm going to go on my phone. That doesn't get you anywhere. It doesn't help you out at all. So go outside, get a walk, whatever you've got to do to just get a new perspective. So that's my tips to you guys for avoiding burnout because, quite frankly, you're all going to hit it at some point in your careers. So here's how not to, I hope. So I have a few tips for productivity overall, and something I've shared with my team as well. It's really easy for us to sit down at our desk and work for 12 hours straight, and you think you're doing really well because you're working for 12 hours straight, but the reality is if you're not drinking water, you slow way down. And that sounds really basic, really stupid, but when you're working at home alone, you're not in an office setting, you're not in a school setting, it's really easy to forget these kind of things, so always have water nearby. Prepare a task list. So this is what I was talking about of, hey, today I'm going to do 1, 2, and 3 things, but project 1 is going to take me 45 minutes. Project 2 is going to take me an hour and a half. Actually outline those for yourself so that you're keeping yourself on track for the day, because if you don't plan that out, all of a sudden you're going to be behind or you're not going to feel productive. You're not going to have that big checklist of like, whoo, did it. Set a timer. So every 20 minutes, if I'm really busy, 30 minutes, I have a timer that goes off. So that timer goes off, I get up, I walk around, and I have a glass of water. So that right there gets me back to my seat, and I'm way more efficient than I would be if I would have just sat down that entire time. So just some tips from me to you guys. So I do want to recap everything. First point, what do you leave behind? Is it legacy? Is it business? Are you going to sell it, make lots of money, and have cars that you leave behind? Whatever that is for you. What are you really good at? Don't be ashamed. And what drives you? Thank you for listening.